The end of last week's parsha saw Midian using prostitution to tempt Israel into worshipping their god Baal Peor. As Midian hoped, this sparked God's wrath against all those of Israel who worshipped Baal Peor and sent a plague against them. This disgraceful behavior by some of Israel peaked when Zimri, the leader of the tribe of Shimon, publicly brought Cosbi, a princess of Midian, before Moshe and all of Israel in front of the tent of meeting. Their publicly brazen act, even before God, had caused everyone to freeze in shock, unsure of even how to react. On the spur of the moment, Pinchas, son of Eleazar, grandson of Aaron, rose up and spared the two of them. This jolted the nation out of their shock, stopping Israel from worshipping Baal Peor, thereby stopping God's wrath. This week's parsha, Pinchas, starts with God bestowing upon Pinchas his Brit Shalom, his covenant of peace, in gratitude for what Pinchas had done. What is this Brit Shalom that God granted to Pinchas? Many commentators understand that the Brit Shalom of God means that God would be protecting Pinchas. Sephorno, for example, understands that it means that God would protect Pinchas from the angel of death, meaning that he would live a very long life. And from the books of the prophets, we do see that Pinchas lived a very long life. Bechor, Shor, and Tur understand that God would protect Pinchas from any retribution or revenge from having killed Zimri and Cosbi. Both were important people from powerful and important families. Remember, Zimri was a prince of Shimon, while Cosbi was a princess of Midian. As such, their relatives were in a position to avenge their deaths and try to kill Pinchas. God promised that he would protect Pinchas from anything they might try and keep the peace. In contrast to most commentators, Haktava Kabbalah understands that the word Shalom, a Brit Shalom, does not come from the word for peace, but rather it is related to the word Shalem, meaning whole. The implication being that God would make sure that Pinchas will not be missing anything in life. Rashi explains that the Brit Shalom was measure for measure. God was expressing feelings of peace towards Pinchas, as Pinchas helped to restore the peace between God and Israel. As an aside, that is exactly the meaning of Pinchas' name. In the Torah, in the Hebrew, the name of Pinchas is fully spelled out. It is spelled with a yud after the pei. This means that his name wasn't actually Pinchas, but Pi-Nechas, meaning that through him and by his actions, Pinchas brought mercy and peace from God to Israel. But God's Brit Shalom can also mean something else. The Torah specifically links Pinchas back to his grandfather, Aharon the Kohen. Aharon was known for promoting peace. In Pirkei Avot, chapter 1, Mishnah 12, it says, Hillel said, "Be of the students of Aharon, loving peace and pursuing peace, loving people and bringing them closer to Torah." Furthermore, part of the blessing of the Kohanim in the Mishkan and Mikdash was to bless Israel with peace. A Kohen's life and being was to promote and fulfill God's covenant of peace with Israel. As such, the Brit Shalom that God granted Pinchas was exactly the next verse in the Torah, earning the position of high priest for himself and his descendants, forever symbolizing and representing God's Brit Shalom to Israel. Shabbat Shalom.